All right, we are live. Just about to do a camera check. Yeah, camera's looking good. Ooh, microphone's good. All right, so we got camera's good, microphone's good, life's good, you're good, I'm good, everybody's good. How are we feeling today, everybody? How's it going? Good evening. Let me just get my stuff set up. Hey Sheen, good morning. Oriane, how's it going? Morning. Evening, wherever you are in the world. Afternoon, morning, and evening. How's everybody doing? Just setting up my PC. Gathering all the updates. Making sure all systems are online. Looking at Bitcoin while I'm setting up right now, just looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is looking like it's still not making moves, doesn't it? It still looks like it's not moving. All right. Alrighty. All right, camera's good, everything's good. How are you guys doing today? You feeling like a downtrend today? You might be right. You might actually be right. But it's not confirmed yet because it hasn't broken off. The 64.3K level still hasn't been broken. Price is dipping. It extended the rejection wicks. Let's see. Let's take a closer look. Just a bit of a closer look. Yeah, it still hasn't broken past. It hasn't broken past. So right now, this is the new higher low. So this is originally the higher low we talked about yesterday, where if price breaks past this level, then we're going to be seeing a bearish move. However, this candle rejected, it came back up. It did not create an inverse fair value gap, which is what I was hoping for, which is what we were hoping to see. But instead, it came back down and it continued down, but it didn't push through. So let me be a little bit more clear. Since this is the last rejection point, price came back down and it didn't break this level, and then it extended the rejection wick over here. So this is like technically the new higher low. Okay, this is the original level, but this is the extended level. You got to understand that price does extend a level only if the body does not close past that level. So it did not close past it. This looks like it closed past the higher low. However, you got to pay attention. This rejection wick got extended from here to now here, and then now the last place is here. If you see this candle over here, okay, you're going to see very clearly that the body closed above. So this is the rejection wick. Now this candle can close past this level. It's okay. That's a fake out. Like people are going to be looking at this level and they're going to be faked out thinking it's bearish, which is probably why you can see price is kind of pushing down a little bit aggressively over here, and then now it's rejecting a little bit more aggressively as well. This is only because people have been stopped out or have been faked out, simply because this is a rejection wick that's extended the level. This is the level that it's at right now. So if price breaks past this level, okay, we want the numbers, it's 63.845. If price breaks past this level, okay, then we're going to see a confirmed bearish trend. But for the time being, this candle saved this one's close. So it closed above this wick, which is why it is not bearish as of yet. There's a lot of bearish moves over here. However, it is still looking like it could reverse. We still don't know anything because it is still the Asian session. And also you got to keep in mind that there are quite a bit of liquidity sweeps happening over here. So this is one, the really big one. People thought that was the bottom because it went down briefly and it went up. But then this is the new bottom. And then also here seems like to be another rejection wick. So let's see. Anything is possible right now, guys. Anything is possible right now, but nothing major. There's no major moves happening right now. It's just price is playing with our feelings, and what we want to see as traders is we want to see price breaking above this 4-hour short-term lower high. Once price breaks above this 4-hour short-term lower high, it gives us the confidence we need for going long. Because for the time being, we are at a bottom of the pit. Okay, we are at the bottom of the trading pit, and we don't actually know if it's going to go further down or if it's going to reverse from here. But if you end up buying right now, then you are you're playing the guessing game, because you're not actually buying with any confluences. There's no logic to buying right now. Instead, you're just playing the guessing game. What you need at least is a 5-minute time frame market structure shift. Once we see price taking out a clear recent high such as this. So let me mark it for you. I'll do this over here and over here. Price goes down, comes back up. So this is going to be the level over here. All right, so I'm going to mark it as 5 minutes short-term high. Okay, short-term is an ST. Okay, so we're going to leave it over here. If price closes above that and there's an imbalance over here and there's rejection wicks over here, these are nice 3 confluences for price to go up from here. But for the time being, guys, don't do anything. It just seems like Bitcoin it's loading. Something's about to happen, and it's either going to go up from here or it's going to go down from here. And from what it seems like the sellers are still in control. The bulls are losing control. I mean, we are overall bearish to begin with. Okay, the market is still bearish with bullish momentum. But to be honest with you guys, I don't really see the bullish momentum. I don't really see it. All I see is sellers pushing the price down. I don't see the I don't quite see the buyers pushing the price. That's just my opinion. I don't exactly see where the buyers are. So if we see the volume profile, okay, from the beginning of this wick all the way down over here to the very end to where we are, it just seems like all the limit orders are placed over here, I mean, especially over here and also over here. So does this mean we are bearish? Does this mean we're bullish? I don't think so. It just looks like we're overall bearish. So Oriane, you might be right about this. You might be right about this, but there's no clear break of structure, nothing yet. We are still holding on right now. Bitcoin is literally at the bottom. We are exactly at the point where if this candle on the 4-hour time frame in 2 hours and 50 minutes, if it closes below this level, okay, if it closes below here, then we are officially bearish. After 2 weeks and 3 days of the consolidation, if price breaks, this candle breaks below here, we are officially bearish. But I got a feeling that price is probably not going to do that. I've got a feeling that price is very likely going to be going higher over here. I'm not feeling a bearish push, because if it was going to be bearish, okay, if it was going to be bearish, here's what I'm thinking, okay? There might be a little sweep over here. If it's going to be bearish, then how come this massive candle over here, it did not go lower than the higher low? It really respected it, guys. It really, really respected this level. And if you noticed, it's gone up, the bulls couldn't push, came back down, and it respected it again, and it respected it again. And here it broke past because it's extended the wick to confuse traders, but it did respect it once again. Now we're here at a point where we're trying to figure out where it's going to go next. And I don't think that we're going to be seeing any actual moves until London session. I don't think so. I don't think so, because right now we are in an Asian session. Price does not have liquidity. People are waking up on a Tuesday and there's no news today, so they're going to be looking purely on price action. And what price action is showing me right now is that it is still a bearish market. However, the sellers, they're not pushing the price further. They could have simply broken past this level, but they did not. So as a result, this is a 50-50 move. So in other words, a 50-50 is a coin flip move, and a coin flip move is never something I want to take a trade from. And also, if you're thinking of selling over here, take a look at the chart. Take a look at it. If you're selling here, then you're selling at the lowest point that the price is at. So no buying and no selling. You wait. You wait for either London session or you wait for New York session. Because all I see right now is price. It's not pushing lower. I don't see it. I don't see it. Not on a 1 hour time frame, not on a 4 hour time frame. I mean, if we're looking at it on a 1 hour time frame, you can clearly see that price has had a massive rejection wick over here. It dropped from 64,900 to 63,300 in 1 hour. And in the next candle, it stayed in the range. And it's really a tiny candle. No momentum, no movement from the sellers. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this candle is probably, I mean, it's 47 minutes now. It's probably just creating the bottom wick, and then it's going to take off from here. I think this part on the 1 minute time frame, the consolidation that you're seeing here, this is where the buyers are going to step in and push the price higher. We're going to come back to it, but that's what I'm thinking. You checked on fear and greed index returns to low levels. Can you help explain? I'm not sure fear and greed index returns to low levels. I'll try to see what you're talking about in a second. But before we look at that, let's take a look at gold. So we're going to look at gold, and then I'm going to take a look at the stock market. We're going to look a little bit briefly on the Forex market. Even though I don't like to play around with Forex, but I'd like to take a look at it just to understand how other currencies are doing. And then we're also going to look at Ethereum. So Bitcoin, gold, Ethereum, stock market, and then Forex. And then we're going to be moving towards the news. But then for the time being, it seems like right now Bitcoin is in a pivotal point. It's in a very important pivotal point where it's either going to go lower or higher. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see. This is moving very aggressively right now. So it's probably a sweep, because this kind of liquidity doesn't usually happen in Asian sessions. So this is very likely a sweep that's occurring right now, trying to activate all the pending orders. This is definitely not this is definitely not a big move. This is just a sweep. It seems like it. Seems like a very strong sweep. All right, let's take a look at gold. Could you elaborate, Orians? What do you mean fear and greed index returns to low levels? Because I don't think fear is low. I'm pretty sure that the global, like the investors globally right now are pretty fearful because of the geopolitical events that's happening in the world right now. I mean, think about it. It's only February, and there's already an invasion of Venezuela. There is already exposure to all the files that were released, and you know what I'm talking about. And then there's also the mounting pressure that's being built up here in the Middle East, and that's where a a lot of the US military personnel have been moving their military jets outside of the region, going to different parts of the regions because they're expecting a retaliation from the Iranians, and that's based on global facts. I'm not just talking. I'm using facts that I'm seeing based on global news networks. So I don't think that the fear index is low. I think fear is high, which is why we're seeing gold pushing higher, and it's going higher in a very steady rate. Think about it. This look at how many hours this is. This is from February 17, and we are now in February 24. 17 to 24 is 7 days, if I'm not mistaken. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a week. That's a whole week that we have only moved from here to here. We've only moved a $400 increase on the price of gold. Only. Why? Because in the past week, we don't actually have answers of what's going on in political events. We don't actually know whether war is breaking out. We don't actually know if peace is coming. We don't actually know if someone's going to attack or someone's going to retaliate. All the countries are right now just speculating on what's happening in the world. But if you look over here on this day, on January 29, there was a meeting between the US officials and the Iranians, and they had, I think the meeting was either in Oman or it was somewhere in Geneva. I'm not sure. It was either this or that. And you could see them talking about peace, the nuclear deal that they were discussing, because the US, they want to get rid of the Iranian nuclear program. And also they want to get rid of their ballistic missiles capabilities. So because of that, you could see that when they went to the negotiating table, you could see price has completely come all the way down, and you could see how aggressive it went from January 29 all the way down to February 1st. This is just, what was it, 29, 30, it's just 3 days. Within 3 days, price went from 5,600 all the way down to 4,400. I remember in this period, there was a lot of traffic in all the gold shops all over the city. So a lot of people were looking to buy because they said, all right, finally gold is dumping because we have come to peace. I remember even Russia and Ukraine, they were negotiating a peace deal with each other. So that all together combined brought gold down. But then what happened? The peace deal didn't exactly go through. You'll notice in the news in this period over here on February 2nd that the Iranians disagreed. They did not agree to cut down on their nuclear program because they believe that enriching uranium is their given right. I mean, they have it in their country, right? Uranium is the material to make nuclear weapons. But they're saying they're doing it for peaceful purposes, in quotations. We don't know, nobody knows, and the Americans don't feel comfortable about that. And because of that, the peace deal went through, and there was a massive military buildup, and 500 military planes came flying through the Middle East, and as a result, gold started going higher. Nobody attacked the other person, so things have been pretty stable and pretty calm. And because of the calmness, the world knows, everybody that's watching the news know that something is bound to happen because there's a lot of tension between these two rivals. And these two rivals have been going on and on at it since 1979 during the Iranian Revolution. So because of that, you can see price is going higher, but it's going steadily higher. It looks like a consolidation, but it's steadily and gradually going higher ever since February 2nd, which is literally at the start of this month, 23 days ago. So we've just passed the 3 weeks mark where we don't know what is going on in the region. There's a lot of instability. You can find Iranian ships and Russian ships doing naval drills in the Arabian Sea. You can see that there's cooperation between all other allies. So a lot of discussion and a lot of movements, military movements in this area, but no confrontation whatsoever, which is why you can see that gold is growing steadily because we know that people, investors are fearful. However, you could see that nothing significant is happening, which is why it is only gradually going higher. But interestingly enough, let's put the news aside. let's take a look at the chart itself and how the chart is reacting to it. Because you got to understand, gold is a commodity, and because it's a commodity, it reflects quite aggressively to any fundamental analysis. Fundamental simply means news related market movements. So if we're looking at oil, for example, and an oil pipeline explodes in Nigeria, you're going to see the price of oil going up because oil is a commodity. Gold is a commodity too that you can also apply technical analysis to. So that's a nice clean mix of both. So that being said, we're looking at it on a 4-hour time frame. Okay, normally gold would have aggressively gone from here all the way up over here because this is a nice clean move. But since there is no actual events going on in the world and it's actually kind of peaceful and quiet, maybe it's the peace before the storm, I'm not sure, but it is quite peaceful and quiet right now. So it is gradually going up. You could see some rejection wicks over here. I mean, you could see this is a low over here. Okay, this is a nice low over here from this 4-hour time frame candle. It rejects nicely and it continues going higher. And then this candle just came through. This is the opening candle of this week, like this new day in Asian session. I mean, we're technically still, it's still 10:22 p.m. in New York, but in the Asian session right now is February 24th. So it's a new day, and you can see the new day price opened up from a higher point, and it came and rejected down pretty much at the exact level where the previous lower high is, and now it's just going to probably go higher from here. But this does look like a nice rejection wick, so maybe perhaps price is going to come down over here to this level, tap some liquidity over here before going higher. I don't see gold going any lower because currently it is bullish. All right, so let's take a look on a 1-hour time frame. Low level means more fear, I think. Checked it on CoinMarketCap. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take a look at it as well with you. We can take a look at it together. But yeah, definitely there's more fear. People are very fearful of what's going on in the world right now. So people are fearful, but for me, I'm optimistic. I don't think any country actually wants to go to war, especially since everybody in the world, pretty much every government at this point, they're pretty broke. A lot of governments in the world, especially in Europe right now, they are pretty broke. They can't balance their paychecks. They don't know how to manage their funding. This is based on observation. It seems like there's a lot of issues in these countries. So military spending is on an all-time high. Military defense is on an all-time high. However, infrastructure and economy is slowly declining. So on a 4-hour time frame, you can see that price has come down. It's filled up this imbalance over here. There's plenty more imbalances to be filled, and this is quite a gradual, steady move that's been going on for the last week, but price has still been going higher. I'm expecting a retracement. I'm expecting price to go a little bit lower because it really needs to. It's been going up for a week straight, gradually, and it should be coming down. It needs to come down. So we'll see. It's completely overbought. Let me put it that way. If we use an RSI indicator, you're going to understand that it's completely overbought. I don't have an RSI indicator activated, but it is definitely overbought. And yeah, clean rejection wick. This candle indicates that it's going to be bullish, so it's very likely going to go higher from here. Not much activity going on. You can clearly see this is a strong level. This is the 4-hour lower high from the previous level, and this is the new 4-hour lower high over here, and you can see price is just trying to go higher. If we look at it on a daily time frame, it also does look like price is going to etch a little bit higher. Perhaps today we might actually see it coming up over here to the all-time high. Perhaps. Possible. It's not impossible. It's possible because it already broke the structure. It already left the building. So it's aiming to go higher from here. But besides that, also not much activity going on in gold. It is just slowly but surely going higher. Now let's take a look at Ethereum and see how we're doing at Ethereum. Are you guys in any trades? Oriane, Shion, anybody else who's watching? Are you guys in any trades right now? If you want me to take a look at any of your charts, let me know. I'm more than happy to do some analysis. All right, so we can see on Ethereum that it left the consolidation box officially, okay? And after leaving the consolidation box, it has come down, okay? It has, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. After leaving the consolidation box, see, it left the box, it closed outside of the box, and it took out all of these lows. So this means there is, it's completely bearish. So at this point, I'm going to be removing bearish with bullish momentum and leaving just bearish. Because clearly the bullish momentum has completely gone because price has now gone down. The bears are in control. Price came back to the consolidation box area and it filled the imbalances and it continued going lower. So that's what's happening to Ethereum. I'm initially saying that the target for Ethereum is probably going to be this low point over here, right here. This is the target. I'm gonna mark it. I didn't mark it last time. Lower low. So ideally, if we would have entered a trade, it would have been exactly at the consolidation box, right? With the high over here being the stop loss, and the take profit would be exactly over here at this higher low, which is a nice clean 5.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. I don't normally trade Ethereum. Ethereum is something more likely for me to hold rather than scalp trading or day trading. However, I know there are a couple of you guys out there that like to day trade with Ethereum, so you can clearly see that this could have been a nice move if you caught it. Let me know if you guys caught that move. Does this mean war is coming? Nobody can anticipate it. Look, there is a lot of tensions in the Middle East. And to break it down just a little bit, all that is happening, I mean, let's go back to gold while we talk about politics, because gold is the political tool. To say it in just a few words, just to without stepping on anyone's toes, I'm using just like broad understanding knowledge of what's actually going on in the world. Now, you've got the Iranians who say that their sovereign right to do what they want to their country is being manipulated by rival leaders such as Israel and America and their allies. And they've even put pressure on the EU, and the EU have completely sanctioned the leaders of the Iranian regime. They've completely classified them as a dangerous regime. Now, that is a clear indication for preparation to get rid of the Iranian regime. I mean, there's even in Polygon, like I don't know if you guys heard of Polygon. It's like it's kind of like a crypto betting website where traders, they bet based on what's going to happen. So there's a lot of traders who bet that Maduro is going to be captured, and they made hundreds of thousands of dollars in those bets. I'm sure you've heard of that. So that being said, there is a whole betting thing going on right now saying that the leader of the Iranian regime, Khomeini, he's probably not going to last in the country. He's not going to last up until 2027. They believe that he's going to be out by 2026. But the reason why nothing is happening as of yet is only, Polymarket, correct. The reason why nothing is happening yet is simply because the Iranians, they have friends, they have allies. They are partnered with the Russians. They are heavily in bed with the Russians, and they're also partnered with the Chinese. The Chinese don't see any reason why there should be an escalation in the Middle East. And also, the Iranians, they supply the Chinese with a lot of oil. So it's really important to China that the oil does not stop flowing. And also, that is sanctioned by the U.S. So the U.S. heavily sanctions the Iranian economy, which even like if you get like 1,000 Iranian currency, whatever it is, it's not even equivalent to $1. It's not. It's worth absolutely nothing. You could have stacks on stacks of Iranian cash. You can fill the entire room with Iranian cash, and it's not even worth $1. They have completely collapsed, completely based on the sanctions going on in the Middle East and around Europe. So because of that, Iranians are feeling quite the heat and they're quite isolated. And they're saying it's within their rights to retaliate as they see fit to any outside regimes trying to topple them and do a regime change. So that's what they're targeting. The Americans, they're trying to do a regime change in Iran. They've talked about it. They blatantly said it from the White House press secretary. So it's not news. This is something known. Everybody knows about it. This is what the Americans have been talking about for quite some time. But is it possible for them? I don't know, because Iranians are heavily invested in defending their land, and also it's a very mountainous region. It's really full of mountains. It's like really beautiful mountains as well. If you pay attention to the geography of Iran, it's full of beautiful big mountains. So they're pretty much camouflaged, and mountain warfare is kind of impossible. I mean, to give you context, just to give you context, when the Americans went and did the Iraq War, they couldn't even find a single Scud launcher. You know, those trucks that shot those missiles in the sky. They could not even find a single one, and Iraq is flat. You got to understand, it's flat. It's just desert and flat land. Iran has like 100,000 more than what Iraq has, and it's not flat. It's full of mountains. So it's going to be very, very tricky for the Americans to do anything. So we're gonna have to wait and see, which is probably why they sent 500 military planes and 2 aircraft carriers with a naval fleet armada with them to the Iranian waters to monitor the situation. So we'll see. But that's not really my business. I'm just one man. I can't change global politics. I can't control what the top elites are doing to the economy and to the world. However, I can trade. I can trade based on what they're doing. So when something bad happens, I'm going to be looking for longs on gold. That's what I'm thinking. So based off of that, we make trades based on these positions. So now that we've looked at gold and we know that it's overall bullish and it's had a retracement over here, when we look at Bitcoin also, you can see overall it's at a bottom. It's really at the lowest point right now, where if it goes any further below, then we're going to be seeing a clear downtrend. It's going to be violating this new higher low over here. And then if it breaks this higher low, it's just going to go bearish from over here. So we can't know for certain what's going to be happening after it breaks this level. So let's take a look at NASDAQ. You could see that NASDAQ is also in a 4-hour consolidation zone. You're going to see that a lot of price action is very choppy over here. Not many traders are happy about that, I can imagine. The same thing with Dow Jones, except Dow Jones is actually doing a nice push. It was in a consolidation box, but now it's done a nice clean break of structure on the bearish side. So I'm expecting price to go a little bit higher before it goes lower. And then S&P 500 is still stable. Nothing much is going on. It's quite calm. It's broken the structure over here and it's going bearish. So it's overall bearish. And German stock market, Euro USD. Overall, Euro USD looks bearish. GBP USD looks bearish. The dollar against the Canadian dollar looks a bit bullish. It's quite a few. I was probably in one of my lectures, when my mentorship programs, I was teaching people how to market structure over here. Guys, if you want to learn how to trade, if you want to learn how to read actual price action, just talk to me. talk to me, and the links are in the bio. You can also use the QR code that's listed right over here on my next to my face. Just join, ask questions, share your chart analysis. I'm sure there's a lot we can talk about based on your trading journey and how we can make it easier and better for you, because it's important for you guys to upgrade your trading skills without depending on a single indicator, without depending on anything except purely price action and understanding how to read the candlesticks. So do yourselves a favor and pay attention to how to trade on these levels, guys. It's all easy stuff, not complicated, and you'll be able to get a ebook. You'll be able to join a live session with me and actually talk and ask questions with me. You'll be able to use the microphone and ask me questions even in the mentorship classes, because the more you ask, the more I educate. All right, so now let's take a look at the news and see what's happening in the world. Let me just set it up for you guys. Just give me a second. So let's see over here. I need to stretch this out a little bit. Yep. Does that look good? Yeah, this looks good. Okay, so with regards to the news, guys, we're looking at on Tuesday, which is today, we don't have any major USD news. We can only see some FOMC Goolsby speaks, which is nothing crazy. These are only yellow folders, one orange folder, two orange folders actually, on the contrary. But nothing major. So for today, I would say that we don't actually have any red folder news, so it's not important. Only tomorrow we got Trump speaking, so it'll be interesting when Trump speaks. We would like to hear what he has to say regarding the Middle East and also regarding the US economy and anything else. Hopefully he doesn't spend half the time bragging about how great he is and how America is great again, or humiliating news anchors and telling them that they're fake news. So let's hope he actually says some interesting things at 6 a.m. tomorrow. But put that aside, today and tomorrow we don't really have red folder news. Tomorrow we do have Trump speaking, but that's really not news. It's news if he actually says something important. But then the news that's important is Thursday. We've got unemployment claims and core PPI and PPI monthly. So we'll see. Until then, we've got only pure price action, which is nice. Everybody likes a nice, clean price action. Now, if we're going to be looking at crypto market news, we're going to be looking at what's going on. All right, so we've got Tron, which is holding. Price isn't going higher or lower for Tron. WLFI drops 3%. Dogecoin drops 3.7% as Trump tariff hike triggers crypto crash. So what we understand now is that the tariff that Trump has been doing, he's been okay. So just so you have some context, Trump has officially moved forward by March 1st. He plans on tariffing the entire globe. Anyone doing business with the United States of America is going to have to pay 10% tariffs before moving their goods or services inside the US. So that is obviously going to be really good for their economy, but this is going to reduce trust in the US dollar. The world is not going to be happy about that because nobody wants to pay extra money when they were paying the same flat standard fee. And that is affecting the crypto market. It's bringing the price of Dogecoin and other coins down 3.7%, 5%, etc., etc. So Bitcoin Cash drops 5% because a lot of crypto sell-offs are happening. Okay, so looking into it in a little bit of detail, Bitcoin Cash fell 5% as US tariff escalation and Iran tensions triggered a crypto-wide sell-off. BTC's drop below 65K sparked $500 million in liquidations, which is amplifying the losses. Cosmos drops 5.7%. Solana drops 4.4%. Ethereum drops 3%. Guys, you know, all of these things. Tezos dropping 3.3%. FET drops 4.1%. Stacks drops 3%. VeChain drops 3.6%. Filecoin, I've never even heard of that, is dropped 3.78%. Dogecoin swings, and then it also continues to drop. Dash drops. Caspa drops. Bonk drops. Polygon drops. Pepe drops. Gate token drops. Internet computer drops. Whatever that is. ICP is crypto market drops. Whatever that is dropped. This dropped. That dropped. This dropped. And that dropped. Everything is dropping, guys. Everything in the crypto industry is dropping. Now, this is all panic sells. And I know you're probably thinking, hey, are we losing crypto? No, guys. The blockchain system is almost perfect. The blockchain is really something that is the most safest and secure way for transactions. It's the most safest and secure way to hold on to some privacy stuff. You know, people trust the blockchain. Blockchain is a technology that exists and it's being implemented by a lot of major companies in the world, especially the companies that are running the world. And what are the companies that are running the world? It's the technology companies. And since the technology companies are running the world, they are using crypto. So, you know what I think? I think, guys, that the more it drops, the happier you should be. Just think about it for a second. Here is a glass half full, okay? Think of it like this. You want to buy something, okay? Think of it like this. You buy a Mercedes, okay? You buy a S-Class Mercedes car, okay? You bought a model from the year 2000, okay? You bought an S-Class from the year 2000. It's worth $100,000. Now, actually, that's a horrible example. Let me think of another example. Look, long story short, what I'm trying to say is, right now, a lot of people want to make money. A lot of investors are thinking, where do I put my money for things to go up? They can't invest in stocks anymore. It's been widely known that everybody invests in the stock market. Everybody says, yeah, I invested in some stocks. Yeah, I invested in this. All the billionaires of the world, people like Warren Buffett, all the millionaires, they've all invested in stocks. Even like even insider trading in the US government, they've been buying stocks. Stocks is like equivalent to crypto, right? Throughout the history of the trading floor, throughout the history of the trading industry, people invested in stocks to grow their capital, because the stock market has always been going up based on the time of the year, based on technological advancements. People are investing in stocks. This is a fact. So how can people feel the confidence to invest in stocks when stocks are at an all-time high? You gotta think about that logically. How are investors going to buy and put millions of, if not billions of dollars in stocks when it's already at an all-time high? They can't. They're afraid. Because what if they buy at the highest? It's going to dump. Everybody knows that. Even a monkey knows not to buy at the highest point. So, when you see stuff in the crypto space that is going down and it's going lower, it is a fantastic time to buy. It is the best time to buy. You're buying it cheap. Don't follow what all these other people are saying who are saying that crypto is going to zero. It's not going to zero. A lot of industries are integrated with crypto. A lot of industries are mixed with crypto. We're using crypto with every single thing in the world at this point. It's going to be, I mean, when CBDC is going to be releasing the central bank digital currency, where we're all going to be going from fiat currency to cryptocurrency, and we're going to be using standard coins. Like if we're in the US, we're going to be using USDT. If we're in the euros, we're going to be using Euro T. You know, like we're going to be using government-controlled currency through crypto because it's easier to control the masses that way, supposedly. It's more smoother. It makes things more stable, where you don't have to depend on cash. You can just do things with the flick of a button. You just swipe and pay, click and pay, transfer pay, this pay, that pay. Everything is just so easy. So when you have cryptocurrency in the industry right now, where the whole world is operating on it, and you've got companies investing on it, now is the best time to buy. The more it dumps, the more you buy. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys heard of the term buy the dip. I'm not saying go full margin buy. I'm not saying that. Never go full margin buy, no matter what, because nobody knows what's going to happen to the price. But certainly buy. Every time it goes lower, add some value, like invest some in your cryptocurrencies. Because overall, right now, you gotta understand that it is cheap. It is definitely cheap. If you look at the market, let's take a look. Let's take a look at where is it? Trading view. Let's take a look at the market. I mean, guys, look at this. Look at the price of cryptocurrency since it started dropping. It's been going down for quite some time. This is all a massive sell-off. These are all massive sell-off. Look at how stable it was, right? Price has been going down, up, down, up. It's pretty stable. And then it came all the way down over here, and then it started going higher. This is where a lot of people started buying, and they're making a lot of money, and they're happy. It reached an all-time high, and that was it. Price has resisted. It reached this point. It went up a little bit higher, and then it went all the way here. And this is where price just completely dumped. And this is a good thing, because before it goes back to this level, which it will, it's not possible that it's going to go lower. After it's reached at a high of 126,300, you're telling me in the next 5 years, in the next 5-10 years, it's not going to take out this high? Guys, Bitcoin is going to go probably to 200,000, 300,000, probably even to 1 million. It's not impossible. It's not unlimited. It's not like the US dollar where they can just pump more money. It is a limited supply of 21 million coins. Bitcoin, it's limited. So when something as limited as it is on Bitcoin, it's just going to go higher. I saw in the news today on Market Watch, it was on Instagram. I'll bring out the posts. I don't want to open my Instagram publicly, obviously, to you guys. I don't want you guys to start messaging me on Instagram, but there is a post that I found where there is a guy called Michael Saylor. He buys 592 Bitcoin worth $40 million. This guy, right here. This guy, he literally bought Michael Saylor. Check him out. Michael Saylor. He buys 592 Bitcoin worth $40 million. Now, you think guys like this are just going to buy Bitcoin when everything is dumping like this? No, they're happy. It's cheap because his $40 million now at the price of 63K is going to become $150 million once it goes higher. And he probably even leveraged it. You don't know. Nobody knows. He's building generational wealth. He's going to be a billionaire 5-10 years from now. Because this is how you do it. Don't look at the 5-minute time frame. It doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. You look at the bigger picture. Price has been going lower. It's come down over here. It's rejected. There's consolidation. Price is probably going to come back. It's going to probably break over here. If it does, it's going to go back to 59K. And if it breaks 59K, it's definitely going to do a liquidity sweep at 49K and then go higher. To sweep as much liquidity as it can. Think of it like a slingshot. When you're holding a slingshot and you're about to pull it back, right? You've got the slingshot and you're holding your rock or whatever. if you just let go in the middle, it's not going to go that far. But if you keep holding it back, and further, and then towards the end, you just stretch it out a little bit more with a liquidity sweep and then release, how far is it going to go? How far is it going to go? So think about that. Don't panic. So the main reason of dropping is Iran tension? Yes. Iran tension is the main reason. It's not the only reason, but it is the main reason, especially since a lot of buyers a lot of investors, look, there's two reasons. Iran and geopolitical events is the main reason why it's going down, but also if you are an investor, don't you want to buy your stuff cheap? The stock market is an all-time high. Gold is almost at an all-time high. Everything is almost at an all-time high. What is the only thing right now that is cheap? And what is the only thing right now that is the future? The future is Web3. The future is Bitcoin. We've been talking about Bitcoin for the last 5 to 7 years. It's been out for quite some time, but we've been heavily talking about it for the last 7 years. Realistically, actually, since COVID times. Since COVID, we've been talking about Bitcoin for 5 straight years, guys. People don't want to buy it at all-time high. People want to buy it cheap. You look at the stock market, it's going higher. You look at it, it's literally at an all-time high. This is the stock market on a daily time frame. It's been going up. Look, from 2013, it's been going all the way up. It's not going up and down. It is simply just going higher and higher. And we've reached a point of consolidation over here. And because we've reached a point of consolidation, I mean, this is a one massive box where price is not going higher and it's not going lower. Right here. Okay, this is the NASDAQ, guys. This is the NASDAQ. Price isn't going higher or lower, but we are at an all-time high. Who's going to buy here? There is no market structure shift. There's no direction. Nothing is happening. So this is uncertainty. So there's almost nobody buying the stock market. In fact, it's either going to go higher, or if it takes out the slow, you're going to find it crashing so aggressively all the way down to 16,000. I said it. I mean it. It'll happen. It can also go higher. It could also target 30,000 or 40,000. But one thing's for sure is nobody is trading the NASDAQ. Nobody's investing in the stock market. People have lost confidence in the stock market simply because it's completely reached an all-time high. Millionaires and billionaires do not want to spend a lot of their investments over here because it can really, truly go either way. And because that it could go either way, people are looking at what is cheap right now. And the cheapest thing is Bitcoin. It's beautiful. Price keeps going lower. All the meme coins, all the main coins, all the side coins, all the front coins, all the back coins, all kinds of cryptocurrency coins, they're all getting lower and lower, which is a beautiful indication where buyers are going to, like Michael Saylor, who's going to be buying $400 million, $40 million worth of cryptocurrency. Think about it, guys. Consider it. Consider how do big players, how do whales invest? They don't invest. Whales don't just sit and play with the market on a 5-minute time frame. They look at it on a daily time frame. They're thinking, I have a 5-year plan, just like anybody in the world, you know. For me, I have a 5-year plan. It sounds silly, but I want to have a nice physical fitness body. Okay, I want to be stronger. You look at me, my muscles, they're kind of normal, all right? They're not massive, but they're kind of normal. They're good, right? I can lift, I can do things, but I feel like for my physique, I'm not happy. I want to be better. Can I be better in a scalp strategy way? No, it's impossible. My body needs time. I need to sleep well, I need to eat well, and I need to train. And I need to do that consistently until it reaches a period of 6 months to a year. And then by 6 months to a year, then I can truly say that my body has reached to a point that I can say, I like that. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. You will not see the changes immediately. It'll take time. And all the major investors in the world, all the whales, they take their time. Because these whales, they might have 100 million. $100 million to you might sound like way too much money. But you know what happens to $100 million when you take away $1 million? It becomes $99 million. And $99 million sounds like nothing compared to $100 million. And a person with $100 million wants to have $200 million. They're not happy with $100 million because there's some palace somewhere in California that's worth $300 million. People are people. So investors are very patient. And right now, the stock market is in consolidation. They can't buy over here, especially when it's an all-time high. They can only buy once price comes down to this level over here or this level over here. The only thing that's cheap that a lot of people are looking at and are willing to put down their money is Bitcoin, crypto. And when you can look at that on the chart, you can see here the same thing. The US 30, then a box. The S&P 500, oh my God, look at this consolidation box. It has been here, guys, since October 7. Since, this is not a coincidence, guys. This is not a coincidence. This is crazy. You could clearly see that the stock market has been in consolidation on a daily time frame since October 7. Since October 7, 8, 2025. People are not looking to buy the stock market right now. They're looking other places. So don't you think it's a coincidence that from October 7, price has completely consolidated? But then in the same period that the consolidation has happened on all-time highs on the stock market, you look at Bitcoin, and since October 7, it has completely dumped. You don't think that's a coincidence? You don't think that's planned? You don't think that it's random? Because this is not random for me. How is it possible on that same specific day, the stock market has completely consolidated because the investors don't know what to do. They don't know whether to buy or to sell. While at the same time, they figured out, since they don't know whether to buy or sell, they're like, where can we invest our money? Okay, let's invest in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's too high. In fact, it's at an all-time high. So let's dump Bitcoin down. Let's dump it down to the ground so that we can buy it cheaper. So that we can buy it cheaper so it can go higher in the end, so we can triple or quadruple our wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how investors are thinking, because these are not random. It is not random that starting October 6 and 7, you can see price of Bitcoin dumping aggressively. And then when you look at the stock market, starting the 7th of October, you can start to see over here, from this point over here. From the 7th of October, you could clearly see that price has been in consolidation. Same thing with Dow Jones. You can see from the 7th of October, where is it? From this period over here, you can clearly see US 30 has been, it's going higher slowly, but it's only 30 companies. but the S&P 500 is the core focus. And you can see that price has been in consolidation over here. At the same period, Bitcoin has been dumping. That can't be random, guys. It's impossible. Something to take note of. Can I show muscle progress during live? Oh, man. Orion. I don't want to do that because I might make some people feel a little bit insecure. You know, if I show these gains, right, it might make some people feel insecure. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have muscles. The strongest muscle in my body is my brain, because I've trained this brain every day on the charts. The charts is my gym. The charts is my playground. This is where I've been working out every single day. You know, I'm looking at the charts and I'm doing power lifts every time with my eyes. You know, I'm blinking and I'm doing power lifts. So my brain has got a lot of muscles. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be wrapping it up over here. But before I do, just to wrap it up, we're looking at Bitcoin at a 4-hour time frame. Okay, it does look like it wants to go lower. Okay, but we're not sure yet because this is the new low over here, which is, if we want to mark it, it's 63,845. This level over here is where we want to see Bitcoin break on this 4-hour time frame. If it breaks below over here, then price is just going to go lower. If it doesn't break below over here, because look, this candle already broke past this higher low. So this is being protected by this level. But if this candle breaks past this low, then it's officially bearish, and you're going to see price coming down to 59.9K. So basically 60K. Once price comes to 60K, it could have a relative equal low, which is very likely the case, where we're going to have two relative equal lows. And once we're going to have a relative equal low over here, we're probably going to see a liquidity sweep where price comes down and takes out this outside of this demand zone over here, and then probably go higher. But if it breaks through over here, then it's going to go all the way down to 49,785, which is basically 50K. And from 50K, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. It'll go any lower. If it goes below 50K, guys, I'm just going to take off my microphone. I'm gonna run away and like cry in a corner for weeks, because I don't think Bitcoin is going down to 50K. I put my hands up, wave a white flag, and say I give up, because it is really impossible. It is really, really impossible. I can't imagine Bitcoin going down to 50K or 20K. I mean 20K or something. This is unrealistic. There is one thing though, something I've also noticed on the daily time frame. This is a scary observation, okay? I don't want to terrify anybody, but on the daily time frame, the biggest imbalance on Bitcoin, it's on this level. This is the biggest daily imbalance that has not been tapped in just as of yet. Okay, let me mark it over here to be very clear. I just need to stretch it out a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Yeah. This is all the way down at $27,000. Now, a lot of speculators in the world, not a lot, a few ones, the crazy ones, they're saying price is going down to 27K. If I were to ever go full margin, ever, if I were to ever go full margin in my life and sell off all my assets and just buy Bitcoin, it would be over here at 27K, because that is the daily time frame imbalance. And price going down to 27K is crazy enough as it is. I don't think it'll go there, but it is crazy to think of that. But if it does, I'm definitely going full margin over there. But for the time being, guys, to wrap it up, we have seen Bitcoin in consolidation after going lower, and it did take out a lower high, and then it didn't take out this lower high over here. It failed to take it out a couple of times. So we've been in a consolidation box, which it recently broke out of, but it's still holding tight in the bullish structure because of this higher low over here. and you can still see that the bullish structure is still intact, even though it looks like it's bearish. The bullish structure is still intact. We just need to see a close past this level. Once we see a close past this level that I marked over here, let me add a new line over here. Once we see a bullish structure, and once you see a candle break past the structure, we are going down to 60K. Once price comes down to 60K, I'm expecting a lot of rejection wicks. And then from these rejection wicks, I'm expecting price to go higher. But if it doesn't and it breaks lower, it's going to be going down to 50K. And that's your analysis for Bitcoin. And as for gold, as I mentioned earlier, we are overall bullish in a very steady way. We've had a nice rejection over here, and you can see the price is coming down, probably creating relative equal lows before going higher. And that's the analysis for today, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe to my content. We'll be discussing a little bit of geopolitical events going on in the world, so you're staying informed of the politics that's going on in all the regions of the world, and also being informed and up to date with trading news and where the market was, where it is, and possibly where it's going. And most importantly, you'll be learning how to trade pure price action the institutional way. All you got to do is use the QR code in the video, and also, you know, watch some educational content, guys. And if you want to learn how to trade, actually get on a mentorship. I do it completely for free because I enjoy doing it. And if you don't want to do the mentorship, that's fine. We also give out free handbooks in our Discord. It is completely free. The books, you can just download it and use it to your advantage, guys. I mean, it's just teaching you guys how to do institutional price action. So that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure. Stay tuned. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And I'll see you again this time tomorrow.